Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another Confessions of a Paper Addict Cut Files design team project, and I have this beautiful wreath that is called the Sweet wreath, I believe. It is from the new 2020 Christmas release, so I will leave the link to the cut file in the description box below anyhow, so you can get the right one if you would like to go pick it up. But it's beautiful. Such a pretty wreath. I thought it was perfect to go with the COAPA Vanilla Studio Merry & Bright collection, which I have been using incessantly. I am going to use it again. I haven't got anything in my stash that I like as much. And I still have heaps of it left, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep using it. I'm not sick of it yet, so hopefully you guys aren't either. I have these photos of my sweet baby girl. This was her first Christmas, and she has a little gingerbread man stuffy. She's sitting in a beanbag, just having a cute little giggle. So I've got both pictures because I couldn't choose between them. They're both super sweet. This one she's laughing and her eyes are all crinkled up, smiling, and this one she's just got that big wide-eyed look on her face. Oh, she's so beautiful. So I've printed these in black and white because the colors were pretty clashy. The background of the beanbag is blue, and then she was wearing like neon pink tights and I think like a peachy top, and then the gingerbread man was red and brown. So yeah, it was just a bit much going on. I'm sad that I don't get the beautiful blue of her eyes, but that's okay. I will live with it. So I printed those out in 3x4. I just collaged it and I'll chop them up. So I think I'm just going to back it like normal. Nothing super creative. I actually cut this for my December daily, and I did a really stupid thing because I measured it. I thought, oh, my December daily is 6 inches wide, so if I do it 12 inches wide, it's fine. I just cut it in half and use it like that, but not factoring in that if it was 12 inches wide, it would also be 12 inches tall, which is way too tall for my December daily. So really stupid blank moment there. But anyway, I've cut it on 12 by 12. I have an idea for how I want to do this page, so I'm just going to go ahead and back the cut file, and then we'll get into making the layout. Okay, so I am just going to go ahead and back the cut file, like I said. So I'm just going to do the trace and trim method, which is just flipping over the cut file and the pattern paper and tracing out the pattern or the shape from the back, and then trimming out slightly larger than that shape and gluing it on. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a few leaves at a time, and I'm just numbering the shapes. So I just sketch a little number on the inside of the shape, and I write that corresponding number on the cut file next to that shape. And it doesn't matter because this is the back side, so once I flip it all over, you're only going to see the front. So this just helps when you're backing a cut file like this that has quite a few little bits and pieces. It just makes it go a little bit easier. You don't have to keep sort of flipping it over and trimming one piece and then gluing down one piece and tracing one piece, and so that can be quite time consuming. Another quick way to do this is just use your silhouette to cut out the center pieces, but I had already cut this, like I said, so I didn't have the right size up on my machine. But it didn't actually take too long at all. There we go. I only really used one pattern paper for all the leaves, so that made it go a lot faster. And you can see I backed the flowers there in different shades of pink and it's a light red color on those smaller blossoms. So now I'm just laying out my photos and trying to get an idea of what I wanted to do with this wreath. I have plenty of layouts where I've used wreaths, especially just lately, I feel like. So what I'm going to do is cut this in half, or not quite half, actually more like 1/3 to 2/3, and layer them on opposite sides of the page like this. So this is just a different way to use up a wreath rather than, you know, your typical center of the page way that you would normally use a wreath. And I am using that background paper that is it's all from Merry & Bright collection by COAPA Vanilla, but it's a white background with those falling stars, which is really pretty. I'm just going to add some gesso here. I'm going to do a bit of mixed media behind the wreath to help it stand out from that background. What I wanted really was a light background, but then the white of the cardstock of the cut file was fading into the white of the background, so I'm just trying to, you know, make that stand out a little bit. So going in with just plain white gesso and a makeup sponge, just a cheap one from the dollar store. And now I'm coming in with some watercolors. Now these are from Spotlight. They are pearl finish watercolors, and they come out really shimmery and pretty. They're really inexpensive. I don't know, I can't speak to the quality, but I really like the shimmery finish of them. So I'm just going through and doing this lighter shade of pink. I'm just adding some water and smushing it on with my paintbrush randomly, and then using that piece of packaging to smush it around. And yeah, you guys know what the packaging technique looks like by now. You've seen me do it enough times. So just scribbling it on with a paintbrush and smushing it down again, and I'm just going all the way around roughly where my wreath is going to end up. And I've just sped this up quite a bit faster for you guys, so you're not here all day. But now I'm coming in with this slightly darker, it's a cross between a red and a pink. It's almost red, but it's just on the pink side. And I'm just going over the top of that first pink color. And then I'm coming in with some splatters. Now you do have to be careful when you're using red tones that it doesn't look like a crime scene. And I think this is just pink enough that I get away with it. And plus I will come in and dab up some of the color in a minute. I'm just first going over here with some gold Kaiser mist. I'm just doing some splatters all the way over the wreath, just for a bit of extra gold shimmer. And now I'm dabbing up that extra color, so that really sort of tones down the red of that watercolor. There we go. I've let that dry off camera, and you can see here when the light reflects off it how pretty and pearly and shimmery those colors are. I really love how this turned out. And now I'm just going to add my wreath back to the page, just layering it over where those watercolors are, and bringing my photos in just to get an idea of where I wanted them to go. I really wasn't sure where I was going to put them, and I do fuss around with them quite a bit actually to get them where I felt they looked the most natural. So I am going to end up putting them there over the top of the larger part of that wreath. I'm just going to come in now with some glue, and I'm just adding some glue behind the central stem section of the wreath. I'm not going to add it to any of the leaves or the petals of the flowers. I really want them all to stand up and look dimensional and not stuck flat to the page. So I'm just using some tacky glue and a fine liner bottle there to adhere these down. Next I'm going to add some photo mats. So I've gone through the A5 paper stack, and I like that candy cane stripe, so I'm going to use that for my secondary photo. And for my main photo I'm going to use that wood grain, just because it's more of a bold colour. It's going to stand out more. Your eye will be drawn more to that colour. And I like to do this with my photo mats. So I'm just going to use that wood grain on that. I decided on that photo where she's smiling because, yeah, even though you can't see half of her face, you can really see the happy smile in her eyes, I suppose. She had such a beautiful smile. Oh, these photos take me back. Okay, so that main photo is going to go right front and almost center. And I'm going to put that just straight on, not at an angle. And I have tucked it underneath that floral. I really like how that overlaps. And then this photo I'm just going to tuck at a slight angle just behind, and I am going to tuck it behind that flower. It doesn't cover up anything important. It's just part of the beanbag. So yeah, that just looks, yeah, really soft and pretty. I love that. So now I'm trimming off the excess, and I am going to use those little sprigs to tuck in behind and around my photos. I'm not going to waste those. I've gone to the trouble of backing them, so there's no point in wasting them. So this one will tuck in just at the top of that photo there. They just add a nice bit of extra fullness to the wreath. There we go, and I'm overlapping them with my photos a little bit. Okay, now I'm coming in with the sticker sheet for embellishing. I'm going to keep my embellishment very minimal because I have that quite busy star background and the wreath and the mixed media already, so I didn't want to overwhelm everything. So I'm going to bring in a couple of circular elements because I already have the circles of the wreath there. So I love that bee jelly sticker. That's going to go right there. And I am going to use my first flare that I've used from this collection, not because I don't like them, but because I love them too much. I didn't want to use them up. So I've popped that in, and I've also popped in that little tab sticker off to the left-hand side of my top photo there. I'm putting in my title now. It's going to be Sweetest Smile, and I'm just using these pretty gold foiled foam alphas, and they're just a nice small gold foil font. I really like those. And I'm just curving them around the edge of my wreath there. I've seen a lot of layouts where people do their title like that, and I really liked it, so I'm glad I was able to fit that in. Now I'm just going to fill in the edges of my wreath with some enamel dots. I'm using this nice mid-tone mint teal green, and then I will come in with a nice mid-tone pink. Both those colors complement my layout nicely, and I'm just sprinkling those randomly around the wreath. This side of the wreath was a perfect spot for my journaling. I do write in quite a bit, just a paragraph, about how much she enjoyed this little stuffy, and it's actually scented. It smells like gingerbread, and still to this day still smells of gingerbread. So I've just gone through and written that out and then underlined it, and then I am adding some of the tiny words from the sticker sheet at the top and the bottom. And that's it. I absolutely love this one. I just love how it turned out. Thank you so much for joining me. Close-ups are coming up. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.